Yo, everybody. It is your friendly neighborhood physical therapist, Dr. Ryan Welton, coming to you live. So today I want to talk about what made me jump ship from the highly sophisticated scam of taking insurance. Now I am a cash-based physical therapist, but when I first started in 2009, I opened up a clinic and I was like a hybrid clinic. So I took insurance and then there was too many PTs in the area. So like Blue Cross Blue Shield wouldn't let me in network. So I was in network with a few insurers, but I couldn't get a network with a lot of, so I was like a hybrid type clinic, right? And I talked about the fact the other day how the medical system in the United States is communism, and that it's communism because everybody gets paid the same. Everybody gets paid the same. So if you are a terrible clinician, you get like your $40 or $50 copayment, the clinic does, to see a terrible clinician. And then if you are an excellent clinician, you get $40, $50 copayment, sometimes 20, which is a middle finger. They might as well fax to you at these insurance companies. I believe that is communist, the way that it works. If you think about it, everybody's equal, right? Doesn't matter. No need to go figure out how to go, unless you're self-curious, there's no financial incentive for people to go and figure out how to get better results for their patients. It doesn't incentivize that. And guess what? It takes 18 years in the medical system for people in medicine, for a breakthrough in medicine to hit mainstream medicine. That coincides with the fact that, like in business, right? When AI came out, do you think that, like, when social media came out, that I wanted to learn that? Do you think I wanted to learn that? Do you think when websites came out that I wanted to spend money and go get a website? No. I'm not like a tech inclined person, but in business, you're out of business in 3 to 5 years if you don't stay with that. Like with AI, I have to, stay with it, or you go out of business. You have survival on the line. You have to figure it out, right? So years ago, here's another scam of the insurance industry. So years ago, I was taking insurance, right? So it was right 12 or something like that. Obamacare came in. So you would go from like 120, 150, like $120, $150, if, spending how many units you spent with them, you would get paid that. If you could do one-on-one, you could literally do one-on-one before that, right? And then Obamacare came in and it slashed rates to $40 to $50 I used to see. I don't know what it is now, but $40 to $50 average. And somebody told me in Central Florida that Cigna wants to pay them $20. You can get your nails done and you can get a couple of massages out of that. With these people have doctorate degrees that are accepting that are average 150 grand in debt from going to physical therapy school or chiropractic school. That's a scam. But years ago, I used to take some insurance, and there was one day that I realized like how elaborate this scam is, right? So the insurance scam is, one day I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so I get paid $40 to $50 copayments from, let's say, whatever insurance company, right? To see this patient. Their copayment is $40 to $50, right? So I'm like, at what point does the insurance company ever get involved in this process? Like, what? Like, well played, man. Well played. If it wasn't so sick, I would I would be totally in awe of what they have figured out how to do, right? So So I'm sitting there, and by the way, when you take insurance, so when the person's copayment's $50 and the insurance reimbursement's $50, then guess what? I had to pay my billing company $14 an hour to go and bill like $50 that the insurance company had nothing to do with. The insurance company never got involved because the entire cost of the treatment was $50 contracted with the insurance company. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm like, this is the most insane thing I have ever seen in my life. And at some point I just broke. I was just like, first of all, I can't get patients better like this. This doesn't work. I was doing things that I'm an inventor. I was doing things that aren't covered by insurance. Second of all, this is a colossal scam and it's communism. And I refuse to participate in communism. So that is when I jumped ship and I created my own cash-based business model. Very different from the traditional cash-based model. So last night, I'm doing research. So I am following the cash-based business world, right? And two things stuck out at me. Number one, no one's talking about outcomes. No one's talking about the reason why someone is coming to see you, right? No one no, everybody's just like selling physical therapy, right? But like nobody cares. You can't sell physical therapy. I know they have all these unique ways in sales tactics. I don't have sales tactics. My sales tactics are clinical outcomes. When I get my patient out of pain, like yesterday, my last patient, got her out of pain, and she's sitting there and she says, I don't want to see anybody else. I want to see you because I don't have pain in my back and my sacrum anymore. So I know you know what you're doing. That's what I'm talking about. So I created this business model that I merged the missing link in the cash-based business industry. The missing link is the fact that no one's talking about results and no one's teaching it, right? So they'll teach you, fancy sales techniques and this patient experience and upselling them on this or whatever. But revenue is driven by clinical results. If people feel better, then they trust that you know what you're doing. So I used my methods and I created a business model based off of clinical outcomes. No more communism. Based off of clinical outcomes. And when I did that, then patients will pay. If you know what you're doing clinically, patients will pay you whatever you want to get them out of pain, because I deal with the chronic pain population. Most of my patients sit here and they tell me, like, 3, 4 this week literally said, nobody knows what's wrong with me. I'm in chronic pain. I can't sleep. I can't sit. My x-ray was negative. My MRI is negative. They get referred to psychiatrists. That happens all the time. And that's the population that I work with, and that's the population I live in. And it is from a human standpoint, it's one of the most tragic things I've ever seen, because it's a never-ending train that comes in here with the same problems all day long. And a lot of them don't want to live anymore. They tell me they can't sleep, they can't sit, they can't stand, they can't do anything, they can't play with their kids, they can't pick up their newborn, but the answer to so this is the population that I work with. This is the population I live in. This is what I teach, right? And I've become an expert at it. I mean, I had to figure it out, because these patients in here are desperate, and that is why I publish. People know me as this clinical expert guy. I publish statistically historic papers in the medical field. So if you go to whatever platform you're on, I pinned it to the top. I should have pinned it to the top. And I showed you the views of my papers that I published in orthopedics called Root Cause of Sacroiliac Joint Dysfunction, Root Cause of Sacrotorsion Shear Anterior Sacral Tilt, Root Cause of Plantar Fasciitis, Root Cause of Carpal Tunnel Syndrome, whatever. Those papers, if you look and plug that, upload it to AI and say, are these historic papers? Because I did. I just uploaded it and I said, how are these papers doing? And it says, those are historic papers that you wrote. And they said 1 to hit that many views 3 to 5 years after publication is extraordinary. To have like 4 that I showed on there, they said is unheard of. But those protocols came from sitting and trying to figure it out with these patients. And they, like, I think outside the box. I don't even know where the box is. Like some people say to me, Ryan, that's pretty unconventional. It's outside the box. In my head, I'm like, really? Like, I don't know, because I don't even think about convention or unconvention. I think if it's safe and it works, it's for me, But over the years, I started to hone in on the fact that most of these people had the same problem. And they say they had the same like mechanical issues causing that problem. And no one was addressing this, and these poor people. So I not only created these clinical methods that are all over the world now, but I not only in historic papers that I wrote, statistically historic papers, but I not only created clinical methods, but I created a business model that is not communism, that is based on merit, like a lawyer that wins all their cases type thing, right? They charge like $1,000 an hour, right? But if you are a lawyer that doesn't win their case in any cases, or rarely wins, right? They don't charge that. Nobody will pay that, right? And in this communist medical system that we have, everybody gets paid the same, right? Insurance companies will pay you the same. So, but I flipped that model on its head. I said, this is insane. This is literally insane. And I said, I can't even compete with these people, because my patients are getting better in 5 weeks and they're doing it in 6 months or 3 months or something like that. And you get incentivized to stink at your job. Not saying you want to stink, but I'm saying if there's an incentive to stink, and I've heard more times than I care to, I don't want those Welton methods in my clinic. They told an employee we're losing money, meaning patients are actually getting better. That's what my students have told me. It is a tragedy that I cannot even fathom, to tell you the truth, because I see it in here all day long. So I created this business model that you actually get paid to be a good, excellent clinician, where I am mentoring you clinically, and I am mentoring you on the business aspect of it, whether you want to open and start your own business, whether you are already a cash-based business and you want to transition to my model at $400 for 30 minutes sessions. And I teach you how to target the chronic pain world, specifically certain diagnoses that have nowhere to go, and how to target them, how to lead generation, how to bring them in, the exact scripts, everything, how to bring them in, how to evaluate them, how I treat them, and how I am not worried if my patients, generally speaking, are going to get better. That's not something that keeps me up at night. I'm not worried about that. It's like autopilot for me. And I've been teaching it for years. So, people know me as this clinical expert guy, and I've combined the two into an extraordinarily successful cash-based business model based on clinical outcomes, the way it should be, not treat them for the rest of your life. I won't teach that. And anybody that wants to work with me and wants to treat somebody for the rest of your life, I won't train you. So I don't believe in capitalizing off of the suffering of humanity, when all it takes is a few exercises upon discharge and instruct them how to get better and stay better. So that is this business model. Now I am launching it. There's limited spots. So I tell you, I don't have sales techniques. I'm not a natural salesperson. I am just a very authentic person. And I don't have sales techniques. But what I do have is the truth with patients. There's no sales techniques with that. When I say there's limited spots, there's actually limited spots. I am one person, and I'm going to take on select people, and I'm going to help you open and run one of my cash-based PT business models, not these standard ones. This is very different. And I'm going to mentor you on how I get the results that I get, and that it's been reproducible, just follow me. I post stuff all the time of all these therapists around the world that are getting amazing results. So anyways, I can teach what I do in here, and I do teach it. So, and patients will pay for that. So so I have been following and watching and reading comments and watching testimonials of this cash-based industry, because now I am coming out with this. What I've been doing for years quietly is teaching select PTs and chiropractors how to open and run cash-based businesses based on clinical outcomes. Revenue is driven by results. Okay. And I looked it up. I'm like, how much does these cash-based businesses make? Right. And so I was looking it up last night, and it's 60 to 120 the owner takes home. First of all, if you're making $60,000 a year, you're making what a physical therapist assistant makes, and you're 150 grand in debt. Like, you can't get, like, you're swimming in debt, like that. Those numbers literally don't work. If you are even making $90,000, the average physical therapist makes $90,000 a year, according to the internet. So, I get people don't want to work for somebody else, but like, if that's what you're doing, you should go work for somebody else. You don't have to deal with the business part of it. You know what I'm saying? But in this model, I get $400 for 30 minutes of my time. And they say that physical therapists, promote life and doctors save lives. I published it in my sacral torsion shear paper. That's not what I'm doing in here. These people are screwed, and they have failed everything they tell me. And they're just like, they lost hope, and, they hear about me, the way that I market and target these people, which I will show you how to do, bring them in, and I'll show you exactly what I do to fix these people. And it is generally not hard. I don't worry about it. It's not something that keeps me up at night. And you have a better life for you and your family. Number one, you break free of the communist medical system, and where everybody gets paid the same co-payment. Makes no sense, no matter on your skill level. And number two, you are changing lives like you have never thought you could do in this profession. These people that can't sleep, that can't stand up, they can't pick up their kid, they can't play with their kids. They are in so much pain, it's indescribable, with shearing bone pain. And it's getting missed and missed and missed and missed and missed. And I will teach you how to target these people, bring them in, get them out of pain, and how I get them out of pain, and how I fix them, So I merged the clinical part with the business part, and I am creating a uniquely powerful, extraordinarily successful 7-figure cash-based business model based off of one therapist, that the owner has a 70% margin, meaning you take home 70%, and 30% overhead. So that is what I am teaching. Now, there are limited spots. Go to weltonmethods.com. Don't go to the drop-down menu for my school group, okay? It says become a VIP member, and click that. It takes you, just sign up, and you go to the free school group, okay? I'm talking about it more in there, and the people that are in that group are going to secure their spot first, okay? That's my group. I've been teaching and explaining how I do this, and they will get first dibs at this securing a spot, because there are actually limited spots. So anyways, that's that. I will give you all my courses. I will give you clinical mentorship live weekly. And then I also do business mentorship live weekly, as well as one-on-one mentoring with me on how to open and run a cash-based, my cash-based business model. Very different from the industry cash-based business model. You know, to open up a cash-based business, yeah, it's a lot of legwork or whatever. It's honestly not that hard. But, you know, like, I don't know. I've been doing it. You know, I've been in business 17 years, so I've got this thing streamlined, you know, I've got these processes in and it's cut and pastable. I've taught it. So anyways, that's that. So go to weltonmethods.com right now, and the link should be in the bio, and go to the drop down and click under courses, click become a VIP member, fill out that little form, boom, it takes you right into my school group. Okay, talking about this more. And comment below, you'll see posts about, you know, to secure your spot. You comment below that you want either the clinical mentorship that I'm teaching, which is not for entrepreneurs, and the hybrid business clinical mentorship, which is both, where I teach it all. Okay. Anyways, that's that. Peace, y'all. Love you all.